The 76ers have suspended Ben Simmons for one game for conduct detrimental to the team. Head coach Doc Rivers threw Simmons out of practice, and the suspension came shortly thereafter. Sources tell our Adrian Wojnarowski Simmons will serve the suspension for tomorrow, the season opener at the Pelicans. Here's teammate Joel Embiid on Simmons.
At this point, I don't care about that man, honestly. He does whatever he wants. That's not my job. That's those guys' jobs. I'm only focused on trying to make the team better, win some games, play hard every night, and try to lead, the guys that we have here. And I'm sure they feel the same way because, our chemistry has been excellent. Despite everything that's been happening in the last few months, like I said, I don't really care.
Are you don't want him to? You don't feel he wants to be here? You said.
I don't know. He got suspended for his conduct, so I'll let you guys read into that. But I'm not sure. I don't know what's going on, honestly. I just wanna. I'm excited to play some games. I'm excited to go out and compete against other guys and, win some games.
The best soap opera on TV today. Great to have NBA analyst Tim Legler joining us. Now, Legs, okay. Now, Simmons, I don't want to be there. After signing a max extension, his hip feelings are hurt because, people want him to shoot the ball a little bit. So usually the player has a lot of leverage there, but it's not like his deal is coming up, so he stays away. It's costing me money. Let me show up. I'll do the James Harden. I'll show them who's boss. And no, if you're going to do that, you're out of here. And it's costing you money still. He can't be long for Philly.
Yeah.
But how soon? How does this end? When does it end?
We shouldn't be here, first of all. They should have seen it right after the season ended against Atlanta. Max, here's the thing no one's talking about. Ben Simmons himself indicated to the team, based on his public exposure in that series as a guy with a fragile psyche, he was telling the Sixers, I can't suit up in a Sixers uniform anymore. And it wasn't all about Embiid and Doc Rivers hurting his feelings. He knew himself in that market with that fan base, based on the way he played in that series where there's no other word for it, they saw fear. He knew, I can't play there. I'm trying to tell you guys, I don't want to be there. I can't play there. Better for me to move on. So we shouldn't have let it drag to this point. This should have happened over the summer. So now the Sixers are in a tough spot. Do you allow this guy by coming in and having this kind of body language, not participating in drills, standing off to the side when you're doing team activities? Are you going to allow this guy to just dictate, I'm out of here now? No, now the Sixers are probably going to dig in even a little bit more to try to force this guy back to the fold. And any way you look at it, it's a toxic situation, particularly as you're starting a season when you have positive energy. Everybody's 0-0 to start the year. This is a team that thinks they're a contender. You want guys that are bought in, pulling in the same direction. This is the exact opposite of that, so he has to go away. And this isn't going to turn around where all of a sudden on Friday night he comes in and goes, you know what, let's go beat the Nets, guys.
Accept that. Legs, I get it. Accept that. This is really interesting because you know who would take a distressed asset like Ben Simmons? And you're right. By the way, Philadelphia fans were taking it easy on this guy. They were supporting him for years,
and Joel Embiid
right?
just took it easy on him.
Yeah, right.
By the way.
So Daryl Morey is the type of GM, distressed asset. I'll pick him up for pennies on the dollar. The problem is that's the Sixers GM, right? Okay. So Daryl doesn't want to give him away for pennies on the dollar. What do? Well, you can't force a guy to play except Legs. This is costing him millions at this point. I think maybe they can get him to play. Maybe it's like, no, you can't just show up and go through the motions because we'll throw you out of practice and that'll cost you money.
Well, listen, you might be right from this standpoint. The only reason he showed up in the first place was because a couple direct deposits didn't hit. He said, whoa, this is really creeping up there, the amount of dollars I'm losing. So he shows up, but he didn't show up in the right frame of mind. He showed up just to stop the bleeding financially.
And that didn't work.
No, it didn't
work.
And so now he's going to bleed a little bit more with this suspension. So if the thinking is eventually this guy's going to say, okay, I guess I got to show up and play hard, but mentally he won't be there. And I think what's going on right now is fracturing the respect dynamic with the guys in that locker room.
Yeah.
This is not a tenable situation. It can't have a positive ending with Ben Simmons in a Philadelphia uniform. It's just a matter of how long is this going to take, and do you ever actually see the guy on the court playing hard and committed?
Daryl Morey wants to sell as high as he can, but maybe every day, like today is the highest it'll be.
News on day one of the NBA season. Sixers star Ben Simmons kicked out of practice today by Coach Doc Rivers. That according to our Adrian Wojnarowski, who is standing by with us. We'll get with him in a minute. Doc Rivers, head coach Sixers, has just told the media, I thought he was a distraction today. I didn't think he wanted to do what everyone else was doing. That was from our Tim Bontemps, who tweeted that quote on Twitter. Let's hear from Joel Embiid, new on SportsCenter.
Try to lead, the guys that we have here, and I'm sure they feel the same way because, our chemistry has been excellent despite, everything that's been happening the last few months. So yeah, like I said, I don't really care.
So are you saying that you don't want him to? You don't feel he wants to be here? You said.
I don't know. He got suspended for his conduct, so I'll let you guys read into that. But I'm not sure. I don't know what's going on, honestly. I just wanna. I'm excited to play some games. I'm excited to go out and compete against other guys and, win some games.
Are you concerned this is going to be a distraction, though? Is it already a
Well,
distraction?
I just say, since, the past few days, felt like, nothing really happened. We were just focused on, the guys, that are playing, that are practicing, doing our thing, having fun with each other, playing. Competing with each other, talking with each other, being part of it. He hasn't bothered us at all.
In the days he was here, what was he a loner?
I just said I don't care. That's his problem. I'm only focused on what we've been doing, and then as a team we're gonna be fine. We gonna, like I said, we love playing with each other. You can see in practice the way we move the ball, we talk to each other. So yeah.
Have you guys talked to him?
Well, I'm too honest, so I answer that question no.
Do you think you'll be able to get to a point where you'll be able to have a conversation with him?
I don't mind. I'm trying to win, and to win, you gotta have that relationship with your teammates. I do have that relationship with all my teammates, but at the end of the day, our job is not to babysit somebody. We get paid to put just on the court, go out, play hard, win some games. That's all we get paid for. We don't get paid to come out here and try to babysit somebody. And so that's not our job. And I'm sure my teammates feel that way. So we really focus on just winning and playing as a team. The main thing for us is to have fun, and I think we're gonna have that a lot this year.
Joel,
Two more guys.
You said you felt he was disrespecting the team. Do you feel he is still disrespecting the team by what happened today?
Like I said, I'm done talking about. That's not my job. That's those guys, front office.
Your teammate. You're his teammate.
Well, you can see, man. You can look into it. Like I said, he just got suspended. His attitude based on whatever has been reported. I'll let you guys read into that. I have nothing to say about the matter. It is not my problem. I get paid to deliver, and that's to win games, and and obviously the ultimate goal is to win a championship. And like I always say, I can't do it alone. I need these guys, and the guys that are here are willing to help me, and I'm willing to help them. And we're going to continue to grow together.
Is there any part of you that wants to try to talk some sense into him? Is there any part of you that wants to try to talk some sense into him?
All right, NBA insider Adrian Wojnarowski joining us now. That's Joel Embiid moments ago, just after Sixers practice, shoot-around day of game. All right, so we'll get to the Embiid stuff in a minute. But for those of us who are just joining the show, walk us through and catch us up on what happened today.
Matt, I didn't hear your question. Can you repeat it for me?
Yeah, walk us through what happened today at Sixers practice for people that are just joining us.
Yeah, I was told very early in the Sixers practice today, that is, they were advancing, with what the stages of a practice were, that essentially Ben Simmons decided that he wasn't going to participate anymore. And Doc Rivers threw him out of practice. The team suspended him shortly after. You know, the way it was described to me was that all 30 coaches in the NBA would have thrown Ben Simmons out of practice today. But, Matt, this has been a consistent theme since he's returned over a week ago. He started, when he came back, he had to take COVID tests a series of COVID tests before he could rejoin the rest of his teammates. But he was able to go work out and practice. He didn't do much of that. And his engagement, I think, physically and also mentally has been really limited. And it certainly has raised the question of whether internally in Philadelphia, did Ben Simmons come back to report to camp to play or just be here? And I think you're starting to get your answer that this does not appear to be a player that's ramping up to return to NBA games. He's suspended for their opener on Wednesday night. You know, Doc Rivers talked about possibly having him back at practice on Thursday, but this is a nightmare scenario for the Sixers and for the NBA right now.
Yeah, it's opening night. We should be celebrating the return of basketball instead we're dealing with this garbage in Philadelphia with Ben Simmons. I do want to ask you this because Tim Legler alluded to the fact that perhaps Ben Simmons started doing the accounting and the money of how much he was standing to miss if he was missing any preseason games and practices, and this was a financial move for Ben Simmons only. You had just mentioned a second ago people within the organization started to get the sense that this guy didn't come back to play. He came back to save some money. Now what for the Sixers, especially after what happened today?
Yeah, and I think that, you know, these kinds of episodes, you know, some of his money and what is owed him and what is sort of in the standard NBA contract for rendering services will be in question. But Philadelphia wanted Ben Simmons back because they hoped that they could, you know, start to sell him again on being a part of this team, at least until they could find a trade. And that has not been the case so far. You know, all along they thought, listen, we're a better team with Ben Simmons than without, but not like this. And you saw and heard what Joel Embiid said after practice today. You know, essentially, we are not here to babysit. And I think they had a good training camp. They had a good spirit about that team without Ben Simmons. But if he's not engaged to play, it doesn't matter how talented he is. It's going to become, I think, more apparent at some point that it's going to be hard to have him around the team if this is going to be his mode of operation. But it certainly complicates trade talks around the league. It complicates Philly's ability to go out and find a deal. They were nowhere near a trade for him. They wanted him to play. They wanted him to honor the contract. And so far, that's not happening in Philadelphia, Matt.
This is just toxic right now for the Sixers. You also heard Embiid say he admitted that he hadn't talked to Ben Simmons. We are going to hear from Doc Rivers coming up on SportsCenter. But Woj, happy first NBA day of the year. We've got this to deal with. You'll be around all afternoon, especially on NBA Today. Let's go over to Sage.
Thanks.